And good morning once again from the Fremont County Fair. Let's Talk is live. I'm your host, Ernie Over. And today we have a nice lineup of guests for us here at the County Fair. We have President Brad Tyndall of Central Wyoming College, and we have Lynne McAuliffe, our former dean at CWC, but you're now involved with the Teton Leadership Center. And we'll be talking about both of those things. But again, it's just a gorgeous morning here at the Fremont County Fair. The swine show just started here a few minutes ago, and we've seen the kids with their hogs out on the show lawn and getting ready for their showmanship inside the show pavilion. And it's always fun to be here. We're right alongside the poultry barn. I don't know if you can hear or not, but boy, the roosters are just raising a ruckus in there in that poultry barn. Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful day.
Yeah, it's just a gorgeous day here, and we want to talk about the Teton Leadership Center. And Lynn, let's start with you. Tell us about that program that CWC is cooperating with the Silicon Couloir.
Yeah. Well, I was thrilled to see Dr. Tyndall's support last year as we brought the idea forward to form an entity in Jackson that would provide further support to entrepreneurship and small businesses around leadership. And so we partnered with Silicon Couloir, which is another local entity there that supports entrepreneurship. And through that partnership, we were able to offer our first conference last year, and this will be our second conference this year. And we have just an outstanding lineup, I think, this year, and hope that we'll get some more people from Fremont County to make the trip over the pass.
Of course, you're no stranger to Teton County and entrepreneurship development over there, aren't you?
Well, we've done quite a bit, and it not only has benefited Teton County, but we've learned a lot of things that we've brought to Fremont County, and we've been blessed with funding here in Fremont County to really support entrepreneurship through the Bootstrap Collaborative as well. So.
Yep.
Lynn is so modest.
Great.
She's done a lot for the college in terms of just bringing the whole spirit of entrepreneurship. So I'm going to start humming and haw because, Lynn just retired. But years ago when I just started, I said, what can we do? And it was really, really clear and kind of in small town Wyoming that we don't have a lot of big corporations. There's not IBM or Lockheed Martin. It's pretty much we have to create our own business. So really through Lynn's leadership, we've done so much. And she's made great partnerships. So that partnership with Silicon Couloir and Jackson was huge. Mm-hmm. And also the Bootstrap Collaborative, getting that started down in Fremont County. So lots of different clients. I can't even remember with Silicon Couloir. I think in partnership Lynn, what was the number? It's like 125
157, I think, through the Startup Intensive that we were
business
successful launching.
And a very large percentage of those, still in business after several years. And so it's really been quite impactful, and so it's safe to say that we've been a leader in the state in business startup, and we've partnered with UW, and now this is part of the Governor's Wyoming Innovation Partnership, largely because Lynn's leadership through partnership with others. So this is and it's a big deal. If you think about Teton County and how it's positioned in the world in terms of high-class people retiring there with business corporation leads and whatnot, this conference is top-notch, and it's no minor affair. It's a really big deal.
Well, Lynn, the work that you have been doing over the last decade in Teton County, I think has really benefited the college in another way, is that people accept Central Wyoming College as their local college in Teton County, and they have passed 2 tax initiatives to help us build our first campus over there in Teton County, and we're going to have groundbreaking this coming October.
Yeah,
August.
August.
I think it's August 26th.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm pretty sure that's right, but it's close to there, right? So that's coming up soon. That's the official groundbreaking, and we're doing the real groundbreaking. Yes, this fall, more like October.
Right.
You do a ceremonial groundbreaking with the golden shovels and whatnot. But they've been very, very supportive, and as Lynn has demonstrated through partnership with people, and a lot of donations from Teton County for the broader college. I mean, they've been super supportive, and really grateful for
Well, the college has been in the Jackson community almost 50 years. I mean, so, they know about us, but it's been the work the last decade or so and us pushing for that Jackson campus that really has made the difference.
It really has. I think even offering our bachelor's degree programs has really elevated the college visibility up there and interest too. So
Well, we have these great programs, like for example, our nursing program, number one in the nation, tied for number one in the nation among all colleges, 4 year and 2 year. And what some people don't realize is our nursing program has two campuses. There's one in Riverton, and there's one in Jackson.
That's right.
And the Jackson students do just as well as the Riverton students.
it's an outstanding program in Jackson as well, and always have a wait list for
Yeah.
the Jackson program.
Of course, I should have done this at the beginning of the show, but I have to make a disclaimer. I'm on the CWC Board of Trustees.
You're not
so-
biased at all.
No, I'm not biased at all on this sort of thing. But yeah, I just want to make sure people understand that, I'm greatly involved with the college.
No, but although you may be biased, the numbers do indicate that of all of approximately 1,400 community colleges or so, we're ranked 20th in the nation because of our numbers, our student success rates, and I would say nationally we tend to be our social economic is a little harder of a gig here in terms of the students we serve, and so we pour in extra care in our recipe to make sure students get to the finish line. So we're particularly proud that we're 20th, and it's because of a lot of love and TLC, basically. And no
Right.
pun intended, because TLC is also the Teton Leadership Center.
That's right, huh?
So that was a segue back
There you
into
go.
talking about that.
So, Lynn, tell us about the Teton Leadership. You said we've got some outstanding people coming in for this. Who are they?
We do. Well, the first one that I'll mention is a gentleman named Howard B. Hart. And I personally know Howard from a previous lifetime where we worked together in a national furniture company.
Ah,
And so I had a lot of experience experiencing his leadership and continued to just be impressed by the work that he was doing and the type of leadership that he brings to organizations. And so he comes from Starbucks, spent the last 20 years there and is now retired. He was the president of Starbucks for many years and then also started their whole global initiative and became the global president of Starbucks.
yeah.
So he took Starbucks from 5 stores to 15,000
Great.
stores.
So he kind of learned a thing or two.
Yeah, he knows something about scaling, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we have one in Lander. Yeah. So, yeah, there's a Starbucks locally.
And that's an amazing speaker, because remember Central Wyoming College, state but not too many people, small little colleges, but this is really an impressive speaker lineup, Lynn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited about people hearing from him because he really is an example of the type of leadership that we're trying to teach. And he wrote a little book called "It's Not About the Coffee,"
Uh-huh.
because it's about the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
with the number of people they have, he's got some stories to tell. So, I think he'll be fabulous. We have another speaker named Layla, and I cannot pronounce her last name. It's Akaroglu.
Akaroglu? That's my best
That's
shot at
that's
it.
pretty good. She's an expert in sustainability and what they call the circular economy. So, helping businesses be more productive and efficient and using our resources in a better way.
And she's a sociologist, right?
She is.
Yeah.
So she has some really creative ideas, I think, to help businesses look at how can they be more sustainable and how can we not only take care of our people and our community but the environment.
Exactly. Uh-huh.
So,
And she's a good example how what I really impressed Lynn about the lineup here is that these are people who they're not just giving inspirational speeches that you hear for a couple of days. It's
Right.
really like they're dialing into important, like having a sociologist and entrepreneur. A lot of these people have a very unique background, so it's like, I need to learn from them. So, so it sounds like a good one to me.
yeah. Sean Ellis is a guru, I guess, in change management. And obviously, organizations are probably facing more change coming at them very rapidly right now, especially with AI and
Exactly. Yeah.
how do we handle that. And so Sean's going to teach some things on how can organizations do a better job at adapting and thriving in times of change.
And I guess he has some sort of a framework. And Dr. Kathy Wells, our VP of Academics, said she heard him at a conference once and found him entertaining. So if nothing else,
Well, we need that too. We don't want our conference to be dull and boring. So.
No, you don't want a dry conference. You have to have someone in there that injects a little humor.
Yeah. Well, and the last one here is one that I'm really excited about. Vivian Ming, she describes herself as a professional mad scientist and serial entrepreneur. So
I think you say serial killer.
Yeah, serial entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
she's a neuroscientist and an entrepreneur, and an expert around artificial intelligence. And what's interesting about her is she's going to speak on how can we use artificial intelligence to really maximize human potential, and uses the phrase, how can we make people smarter through the use of AI.
And that is huge. I mean, everyone's talking about AI and using it, but the more and more I learn, it's just amazing. I was talking to some people at the airport when I'm waiting for the flight, and people were talking about how they use it. And one guy in particular, so many different uses. I mean, this is an important topic because if you want to leverage your brain and make it twice as smart, you lean into AI, and it's like, wow. So it's an important topic, and I think it's being threaded throughout quite a bit of this conference. I think, at least that was the original intention, wasn't it?
Yes. And I think there's a lot of fear around AI, and we've got to figure out a way to overcome that and really realize that it's an asset as well, and how can we
Well,
we
people
better
don't
utilize
realize when they write an email, for example, they'll be writing an email and all of a sudden the sentence goes out. You know, that's AI.
They're getting some help.
You're getting a little help from that, and that's AI. And of course, I see it multiple times a day, and sometimes I go with what they suggest, and other times I personalize it a little more. But so it's already here.
It is.
And I think it's a help, but I think at our college we recognize that students are using it, so you kind of lean into it and then you manage it and don't be a victim of it. And so I think that's kind of part of it. I've tried it a few times. I'll say, draft a 3-minute speech to give to a college faculty in Wyoming that's inspirational and gets people ready for the year. And they wrote it and it took them about 3 seconds.
3 seconds, yeah.
And you know what? This is kind of what I normally say, and I felt kind of stupid,
Yeah. Well, now tell us the dates. When is this leadership summit going to happen?
Well, it begins on a Thursday afternoon at about 4:30 on September 26th.
Okay, so
so
about 2 months away.
yeah, it's coming up for us pretty quick
Yeah,
in terms of getting everything in place. But
in Teton Village.
yeah.
And one thing we're thinking about is really trying to get local people to go. People come across the country and beyond and going, folks, this is a great opportunity. And, of course, it's beautiful up there. People should probably ask because we know that housing or hotels can be kind of expensive, so it's good to book early.
Yeah.
We're telling some of our staff to at least go for the day, check your sessions and decide which day you want to do. But this is such a huge opportunity. I really hope a lot of folks in Fremont County will take advantage of it.
Well, and it's not that far away. We always talk about, Jackson and Teton, but, you're 2.5 hours. You're there.
Yeah, and really, Friday, we kind of scheduled this so that we were hoping that people who maybe would want to drive up for a day could do that. So we start a little later. We're starting at 9 o'clock in the morning on Friday.
Yeah.
And then we'll wrap up around 4:30,
Yep.
and so people can get home. And you really could make a day trip out of it.
Or throw a hook in the water.
Or throw a hook
There
in
you
the
go.
And then come home.
And then come home, yeah. Well, the great thing about this, it's being held at the Walk Festival Hall. And, of course, that's where the Grand Teton Music Festival is held. And it's a beautiful facility. The acoustics are just incredible in there. It's a good place for a little seminar.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Well, and I think, so we'll start at 4:30 on Thursday. We'll have some registration and appetizers, refreshments, and get to mingle a little bit before we have Howard will speak that night, as well as Layla. And then the next morning we'll start off with Sean. And the way we've organized the conference this year is we've actually recruited about 20 facilitators who will then facilitate some small group discussions after each of those keynote speakers. And so folks will have an opportunity to hear them and then come together with some amazing people, the facilitators, just their credentials and the folks up there that have agreed to help us. Will work with those small groups to better understand what the speakers are really talking about and how that can be integrated into their own business.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity.
I mean, what's exciting about this, Lynn, is everything has been designed over the years with you in the back of your mind, how to get leadership development, but leadership / entrepreneurship, right? And what is so neat is that these speakers are spending one-on-one time, people in the small groups, and so it's not like, oh, you show up, you sit in a chair way back in a big conference room, but this is very intimate and a networking opportunity as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, we've got about 7 minutes left, so I want to switch gears now
Alrighty.
and talk a little bit about what's happening at the college. Of course, it's almost August. Tomorrow, it says August, and we're going to have classes starting before you know it.
Yeah, classes start on August 26th. I do want to put a pin on the Teton Leadership Center.
Okay.
Ask people just to Google it. I could give you a web
Yes.
address, but if you just Google Teton Leadership Center, you can pay and you can check out the program. So let me just say, Google has solved a lot of our not having to read email, URLs on the web. But yes, classes are starting August 26th. Time is nigh. Students of all ages, right? We have students from, young coming out of high school to the 30s, 40s, and beyond, and great way to transition your life or improve, where you are. And so we're very excited that, we got a full slate of programs. We got that, and Lynn had a hand in this as well. That Bachelor's of Applied Science and Entrepreneur in Organizational Management and leadership. I remember we talked about that title of that class. We're kind of tug-of-warring on what exactly we should call that. But in a way, it's a business degree, but it's a leadership because you need these leadership skills to really excel. That's why we really tie, as Lynn has done, leadership and entrepreneurship. And we got 5 different option areas, kind of a generic one for anybody of any background, but from law enforcement, tribal leadership. Oh, help me out here, Lynn. Outdoor recreation and. But anyhow, and we have a teacher ed program now for early childhood.
Right.
And, of course, a whole slew of 2-year degrees and certificates all over ag. And thinking of ag now because we're at the fair. So, but a lot of things in ag, beautiful new facility.
Yeah, there's still a lot of people who don't realize that CWC is a 4-year community college.
Yeah.
We have bachelor degree programs for those folks who cannot go to Laramie. Or Bozeman or Salt Lake City, wherever it is they'd like to go. You can get your education right here without leaving. And, the early childhood development was something that the Fremont County schools were really, really interested in.
That's right. So, as a community college, we need to respond to local needs, and the local superintendent said, we need more teachers, especially early childhood teachers. So we started that program. And as we talked about before, we need a lot of new businesses. A lot of people, if they want to advance in their life, it has to be through the mom and pop organizations or starting their own business. And so that Bachelor of Applied Science and Organizational Management Leadership is great. But we got, welding and auto and all sorts of flavors of ag. And I really encourage people in the spirit of the fair to go check out our facility because all it takes is one look and you'll say, wow, this college has arrived in ag equine.
Well, I interrupted you there when you were going to talk about the Russell Ag and Equine Complex. That it's the second largest building in Riverton. The only one that's bigger is the Walmart Superstore. 86,000 square feet, 2 arenas inside the building. The roof is 2 acres in size, and it's on a 23-acre site that has an outdoor arena, and it has all the stables and stalls and corrals.
And a USDA certified meat processing
Absolutely,
program from hoof to plate. And that's very unique. We have only a couple of those in the nation.
In the nation, yeah.
And so if you don't think we're serious about ag and equine, then you need to come and check out our facilities.
Well, I know, President Tyndall, we've heard this from our instructors over there, but when you're recruiting students, when a student comes in looking for ag or equine, they see that building and they sold.
Yeah.
They sign on the dotted line right then and there.
Enrollments in the last 2 years have doubled in ag and equine. And, but, as much as I'm proud of that facility, there's so much to be proud of. Another thing, Lynn had her fingers in all sorts of important things. So a new thing, because she was our lead for the Wyoming Innovation Partnership for the statewide gubernatorial initiative. And Lynn, I know we started an Associate of Science in Software Development, which
Yes.
is really cool.
Yeah, and it's just amazing. You talk about the number of programs that are available, and the CWC has got tons and tons. And there's certificate programs, and we've got the Metallica auto mechanics program. I mean, that was people saw that and said, "What? What is this? Metallica?"
Well, you learn the guitar at the same. No,
No.
it's nothing to do with guitar, but it's really cool. The Metallica band is just very supportive of career and technical education.
Yeah.
And they go out and you apply and they look for schools that are excelling and excellent. And we're one of those schools, and we got funding for another year from them.
Oh, that's just
We're
great.
a Metallica school, so rock on, baby.
Rock on, baby. Yeah, that's it. Well, with that, we're going to close this program out. We've been talking here in the first segment of Let's Talk with President Brad Tyndall of Central Wyoming College and the just retired Dean, Lynne McAuliffe, who is now running the Teton Leadership Center Summit program that is coming up here the end of September. It's great to talk to you both again.
Great to be here, and thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks.
You betcha. And we'll be back with more of Let's Talk Fremont after we listen to these. Okay, Ernie Over is back with Let's Talk, and we have with us Pat Hart, the manager, superintendent, grand poobah of the Fremont County Fair. Pat, thanks for joining us this morning.
Well, thanks for having me.
I tell you what, this is just one of my favorite times of the year. You get to come out. The weather's usually pretty good. And we might have a little wind in the afternoon, but the weather this year has just been wonderful.
It has. It's been beautiful. The morning's absolutely gorgeous. It's been a little warm. Like you said, we've had a little bit of wind in the afternoons, but it's been great.
Well, the Fremont County Fair, this is a year-round thing, isn't it? As soon as we put away everything from this year's fair, you start planning next year's fair.
Exactly. We've already got the wheels turning for the theme for next year, and
Uh-huh.
hopefully we'll have a announcement by the end of the fair. So yeah, we're already planning for next year, and as we go through each thing every day, we're like, what can we change to make things a little bit better? What worked?
Uh-huh.
What didn't work? So we're constantly planning.
Well, and it shows too,
Thank
because
you.
everything runs really well. And, people who want to participate in the fair, they have to get engaged here months ago. You have to get your applications in and know what you're going to do.
Yeah, you do. And, for the open class, all the beautiful work there, people are working year round for that too. And I guess that's one thing I'd say today. If, join us next year. Start thinking of things that look at the book and things that we have entries in and get excited about it and plan. And, I'm going to take that to the Fremont County Fair. And then, of course, our animals, the beef, those kids have to have those before February 1st. And then the swine, the sheep, and the goats have to be, we have to have those by June 1st. So it's a few months of work and hard work for these kids too. So
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. And of course, the FFA program and the 4-H program really is a feeder to the fair.
it definitely is. It definitely is. We wouldn't have what we have without the 4-H and FFA, and those programs are such great things for those youth in this county, well, nationwide. It's just they're great programs, and they teach them leadership and responsibility and accountability. So many things, and so yes, it is the most important side of the fair is those kids.
Yeah, and Fremont County is lucky because we're such a large county in area that this is one of the largest, if not the largest, county fair in Wyoming.
It is. It truly is. And we have some, of course, I have managers throughout the state. And I had my friend from Campbell County here, and she was like, I can't believe, she was just looking at our entries. She was looking at our entry program, and she was like, I can't believe how many entries you guys have. And so that was shocking because that's Gillette, So
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, we have quite a few. Sometimes it feels like we're down a little, which we are a little bit, but yeah, we're
Yeah.
we're right up there with the big cities.
Yeah, with the big cities and the big counties. Of course, we're 50-50 urban and rural here in
Yes.
Fremont County. And of course, a lot of the kids involved in 4-H come from the urban area. I was talking to some young people yesterday that live here in Riverton but go out to grandma's farm,
Yes.
and have their
Yes.
animals out there and,
Yeah.
and that sort of thing. So that happens.
Yes, and then we have kids this year from Hart, Du Bois area that we haven't been able to have for a few years. So we've got some kids now involved from Clear and Hart and Du Bois. So
Yeah, I
pretty
was,
exciting.
you talk about the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, and I was at the scale house yesterday, and most of the lambs made weight, but there was one little boy who missed by 4 pounds. And,
Yes.
he says, well, I'll just go ahead and sell it anyway. And mom says, no, you won't. We're keeping that lamb. You sell your pig.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the hard part. That's the sad part. Is when they come in and don't quite make weight. I know there's a few sad faces after yesterday and Monday, but they have been working really hard, and I'm sure. I told one person I'm sure that somebody's going to buy that. It was a
Yep.
beef, and I said somebody's going to buy that.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
they will. Well, this is part of learning and
hmm
education. And when you're involved so intimately with an animal, and you don't make the weight, you know what you have to do next year.
Right, right, and it's kind of a gamble, a game, I guess, in a sense, but it is a learning process. But you know, to get it within a certain amount of pounds, it's like you said, it's a learning thing, and
Yeah.
some of them they look like they're good, they look like they're going to make weight, and then it's stressful for them to come into fair, so that kind of drops a little bit. So
Uh-huh. Yeah.
kind of have to have them really good and ready.
And that's right, really good and ready, and it is really great. And the facilities here at the fairground are slowly upgraded each
Oh
year.
yeah.
Every time I come here, I see improvements, and it's like the cover over the area where they wash their animals.
Yeah.
That wasn't there. I think it popped up 2 years ago,
Yes, it
and
did.
things like that.
Yeah.
The painting, the upgrade, the staff that you have here, they work really hard.
They do. They work really hard. Rick keeps these grounds just absolutely beautiful, and I've said this to a lot of the fair board in different groups, different committees. But we had someone from the state that comes in and checks our scales and stuff every year, and he came in this year and he came to me and he says, "I need to talk to you." And I thought, "Oh dear, there's a
Oh
problem."
no, there's a problem. Yeah.
We've got a problem. But he's like, these grounds are used more than any grounds in the state. And these grounds are the most beautiful and the most kept than anywhere in the state. And so, that says a lot, of course, for the staff and for Rick and his crew, but for, the Friends of Fair, for the county. Um, in the last 4 years, we have had some major help from the county commissioners and the Friends of the Fair, the community, in making, like you said, small upgrades every year. And the Fremont Center is being remodeled right now,
Right.
in part by the county commissioners.
Hmm.
We've got new windows in the Heritage Hall, to the county commissioners. They paid to paint every building, the Little Wind, the Fremont Center, and
Uh-huh.
Heritage Hall. Friends of Fair put new flooring in Heritage Hall. They've put new curtains in Heritage Hall, tables and chairs. They're going to put new flooring in the Little Wind. And then the barns, they've done an upgrade to the electrical in the barns. Um, they have done upgrade to the campgrounds. Just done some really great things. County commissioners put a roof on the bathhouse and a roof on the Little Wind.
Uh-huh.
Our asphalt, our parking lot.
Yeah, brand new parking
brand
lots.
new,
Yeah.
yeah, painted, striped.
I noticed that when I first came down because it wasn't painted before.
Was not.
The stripes for parking, it wasn't delineated before,
No.
and so I drove up here and I went, "Look, all those cars are parked differently than they usually are." And I went, "Oh, there are lines in the parking lot now." So it's not,
Yes.
parking here and
Yes.
there. You've got a place that's organized now.
Yes, we have. Had been talked about, and then they actually came in Friday, and painted it so that
Uh-huh.
we would have a little bit of, structure in the parking this
Yeah.
year. So, yeah.
One of the changes that's happened over recent years is you don't have the carnival during the fair, but you have
Yes.
the carnival before the fair.
Yes.
And
Yes.
how's that gone?
It's gone all right. It's it's good. There's good sides and bad sides to
Uh-huh.
it. In 2020 we couldn't have them, and of course there was a lot of people that loved the feel
Right.
of the fair, as a family friendly, just calm, kind of mellow atmosphere, I guess I'll say. And
Right.
so, the board decided that time, well, let's just see if we can move the carnival and see what it does. And so the carnival actually agreed to swap places with Uinta County.
Ah.
Their fair is the same week as ours, and so they agreed to try that and make this change there. And so that's when they came. That's how we got that date. Is Uinta County had it, and so that we switched. It's hard to get routing. You can't just call up the carnival and say, "I
Sure,
want
yeah.
you here," right?
They have to be in the area.
Yes, they have to be in the area, and the numbers have gone down in the carnival world in the last couple of years as well,
Yeah.
and so it's a little bit harder. And so, we've been doing that. We've had them 2 weeks before, the same time as the horse show, and we've tried to do some different things during that time. There's positive in that they can have the parking area, and then you can have your fun there, and then you can come back in 2 weeks and you can have your fun here,
Right.
So it kind of spreads things out a little bit. I've heard also that some people would like it back. But like I said, there's good and bad to everything.
Right. Uh-huh.
But this year they were not
But you
able
don't
to
know
come.
until you try it.
That's right. That's right. And
Yeah.
this year, they had another commitment, so they were not able to come 2 weeks ago. So
Yep.
no more carnival this year. Come back in June, July of next year.
For
But
the spring spectacular.
yeah, spring spectacular, and then right before fair again.
One of the things I noticed this year is you have a new little train thing.
Yeah,
Boy, was it being used yesterday.
it has
It
been.
says, 8 or 9 little cars on it and a little locomotive and a little bell on the front.
Yes.
And the kids can get on it and you get a tour of the entire fairgrounds.
Yes, they take a tour of the fairgrounds. He tells them as you're riding what's going on everywhere throughout the grounds and what time, and plan on coming back. And the kids are having fun. I think adults are having fun on it too.
Yeah,
So
I think so too. And you have more food trucks this year than I remember.
we do. We have more food trucks, and then we have a few more coming in. I think we have 6 more coming in on Friday and Saturday for our food truck rally. We were hoping for even more, but we've got 6 coming in, so we're excited about that. It'll give a little bit of a change, but we've got new. Ranch Eats out of Cheyenne is here. I think they leave on Friday when the others come in, but new pizza place. Yeah,
Yeah, I tried that out yesterday.
there's some good
It was
food.
good, yeah.
I know. It's like, oh, I'm going to be.
There's the old
You've got the
traditionals,
tradition that you need,
Uh-huh.
and then you've got some new and
Got some new
exciting.
things,
So, and they won't be here next week, so
Right.
you got to come eat
Right,
this week.
exactly.
Take lunch, take an afternoon snack.
Well, we always talk about Friday Afternoon Club. This is a great place to come
It is.
because not only you get to see the kids with their animals, but you get to see the open class exhibits, the 4-H exhibits in Heritage Hall. And I was blown away yesterday by the Grand Champion quilt. Holy cow, sat beautiful.
Yes, very beautiful. They're all just beautiful. I just sit and look at everything, and I'm in awe. I don't know how anybody can do that and have time to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just
How
beautiful.
do they have time to do that sort of thing? And we were talking just before we went on the air that you've expanded the open class exhibits now into that new room. Well, not new room.
No.
It's always been there,
It's
but
been
it's
there.
never been used.
It
Well, now
hasn't.
it's they got the kids zone stuff in there. You've got some of the baked goods and the canned goods in there, and some of the decorated tables, that sort of thing.
Yes.
And I was blown away by the kids zone exhibits. There are
Yes.
some ones that are just absolutely amazing.
Yes, in the kids zone, that's under 8.
Yeah,
Those are those kids before they can have a chance to come into 4-H
right.
and amazing. They've done some great things. Like you said, the building is beautiful. I love the openness,
Yes.
but also the ability to break it out into 3 separate areas. It's exciting.
It
It's
really,
exciting.
really is. And the great thing about it is that I think the vegetables show up today.
They do.
Yes. So
Yes.
we haven't had the vegetables here yet.
And the flowers.
And the flowers,
Yes.
and that's always tough for the Fremont County Fair because it's, there's a whole month left of the growing season. But some of these folks with the hothouses, I tell you what, they're doing well.
They do. They do. I think they were saying we have 200 entries just in the horticulture and
Wow.
the veggies. So that's exciting. Hopefully everybody brings everything, and we'll have a lot. But yeah, they start coming in tonight, the flowers and the veggies,
Uh-huh.
and they get judged in the morning before the building opens.
Right.
And so tomorrow and Friday, Saturday, you'll get to see those. And
Yeah, so come down early to see those because, the veggies and the flowers, sometimes in hot weather, they don't last that long. So,
Yeah,
but
they don't.
it's great because the air conditioning is good in there. And that's the cool thing. All of these buildings seem a lot cooler inside. That's maybe because of the new windows. They're not having the leakage.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm hoping in the wintertime they're a lot warmer.
Yes, yeah, it does go both ways, don't
Yes,
it?
it
Yeah.
does.
And of course,
Yeah.
we have the two big PRCA rodeos. Those were really well attended. Tonight
Hmm.
is the ranch rodeo, and this is
Hmm.
when the local folks have an opportunity to get out in the arena.
Yes, and this year it is new. We have new people producing it. It is Western States sanctioned,
Uh huh.
and we have 10 teams that are they call open teams. So that's mixed, and then we have 4 women's teams, just all women, and then we have 10 bronc riders. They've taken the bronc riding and set it separate, and so you can get better, not better teams. You can get teams easier if you
More
don't have to.
diverse teams, yeah.
Yes, if you don't have to put the bronc riding in. Not everybody wants to do bronc riding, right?
Yeah.
But we have 10 bronc riders tonight. We're starting at 6:30 because we have a full night.
Yeah.
We have a full night, so it's going to be fun.
Yeah, and there's entertainment. All
Hmm.
all day long during the fair. There's all sorts of fun things that going on. You've got a couple different magicians this
Yes.
year, and of course all the different vendors who are here. It's just
Hmm.
really fun. And I had to go check out Arlie Colva's
Oh
uh,
yes.
apiculture
Yes.
exhibit, and this year the kids are not going to have any trouble finding the queen bee because it has been the back of it's been painted with really fluorescent green paint. So if you're looking for the queen bee, it's not a little dot this year. It's
It's
the whole
big.
back's painted and it's great. But it's just fun to see the kids sit in front of those bee exhibits and see all the bees in the hive.
Exactly. And that the Culva family is a tradition at the Fremont County Fair. They're a long-standing tradition. We love having them here in our agri center, and Arlie and Christina just do an amazing job, and the kids, like you said, love it. Love going in and looking at those, and it's good.
Yeah, and Arlie got a special buckle here, a
He
buckle a
did.
couple of years ago, didn't he?
He did because he's been here for so many years and just been a part of the Fremont County Fair, and
Yeah,
he's been our grand marshal before for the parade, and
that's right. Yeah,
um,
yeah, it's just really and the parade this year was really great.
it was awesome. I think, and thank you to WYO Today for helping that and emceeing it and helping us out. It was great. A live stream.
Yep.
I didn't get to stay, so I came back and put it on at my desk so I could.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed you were there at the beginning, and then I looked around. Oh, Pat's gone. Wonder where she was. She's probably busy. Yeah.
Yeah. I got called back to the ground. So
Yeah. That kind of happens. But the nice thing about the fair is that there's something here for anyone
everyone.
and everyone. Yeah.
Yes.
You bet. No
Yes.
matter what, I just love. I could have spent all afternoon in the Fremont Center,
Hmm.
and I didn't even get over to the Heritage Hall to see the 4-H exhibits yesterday.
Yeah.
And then you've got exhibits in the Ag Center.
Hmm.
Paws for Life is here. They've got
Yes.
dogs and cats up for adoption, and that's really cute. And there's just so much going on.
There is, and in the Agri Center, there's also all the FFA projects, the
Yes.
wool and the hay. But there's so much going on. Like I said, something for everyone. And a lot of times, people suffer from not being able to afford to do things,
Right.
and that's one reason. One thing here at the Fremont County Fair, you can come here and you can have the free entertainment. We got disco behind us, the train.
Right.
The other magician, Michael Mesmer, he does a regular magic show. He does a danger magic show, and he does hypnosis. We've got laser maze and putt golf.
Uh-huh.
Just and like you said, you can go through the barns, look at the buildings. It is for everyone. Just come on out and have fun. Have a
And
great time.
it's educational too. I sat in on most of the goat show yesterday out here on the show lawn, and the judge was from Laramie,
Hmm.
and just sitting here watching him judge each of those, you learn so much
Yes.
about what's important to see in a goat. I
Yes.
never thought about that before. But it's
Yes.
the same way with the beef show, the dairy show, and we've got 8 dairy cows this year.
Yes, we did. We've got more dairy cows than we've had in years. We're excited about that and hoping that continues to grow. It's an in and out show. They bring their dairy cattle in yesterday
Uh-huh.
morning, Tuesday morning, and then they take them home, and it is just it's growing. It's a great show. You mentioned the judge from Laramie. Yeah, he is the
Landon.
university. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, Larry. He is the University of Wyoming judging coach,
Oh,
Landon Eldridge. So he is
yeah.
also judging the swine this morning. So yeah, come down. You'll learn something about swine.
Yeah, and it's really great. And of course, these kids in the 4-H practice how they can manage their animal in the arena,
Uh-huh.
which is really important because that's part of showmanship.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it really is. And you see the thing that just slays me are these little kids, and
Hmm.
they have their lamb, and of course they've got to get their lamb propped up
Yep.
for the. That is just
Yeah.
I just love watching that.
Well, in the beef show, these little tiny kids, and there's this big old
Yeah,
steer.
exactly.
So
Yeah,
no, it's great. Like you said, very educational. It's fun seeing the kids. It's a great time. at Fremont
and of
County.
course, what we want to talk about is something coming up Saturday, and that's the youth livestock sale.
So,
And that is that's like the topper of the fair, and all these kids who have spent so much time get an opportunity. All the grand champion and reserve champion animals that are put up for sale, you can buy them there,
hmm
and but there's like three or four hundred others
yes,
that you can
yes,
buy too.
exactly. So, they obviously have the choice and the opportunity to sell the champions, grand champions. But then, of course, you can consign one animal. But if you win the grand champion, or in multiple divisions or whatever, or not divisions,
Yeah,
species,
right.
you can sell each one of them. But so every kid here has the opportunity to consign one animal, and so there are a lot of great animals, and it's a learning experience like we've talked about. It's very educational for those kids because they have to figure out how much it's going to cost to buy them,
Right.
how much they put into the feed, how much for care and supplies, and then they sell it, and then they figure out, did I make money, did I not make
Yeah,
money, and
exactly. Yeah.
so it's for their future. It's
Yeah.
very educational for their future. I'm sure some mom and dads have put some good money
I'm
in
sure they
helping
have.
them figure that out.
Well, it's kind of interesting. A lot of the animals that are going to be for sale don't have names.
Yes.
It's like I was talking to a young man yesterday in the rabbit barn. He had rabbit number one and rabbit number two. But if you have a name, you get a little more attached to it. It's really
Yes.
harder to sell at the end of the fair. But
Yes, and some, it's a sad day for some. It's a happy day, but it's a sad day for those kids
yeah,
sometimes.
sure
And
is. Well, we've been talking this morning with Pat Hart, the general manager of the Fremont County Fair. Pat, thanks for stopping by and
yes, thanks for having
talking
me.
with us. And talk about entertainment value. This is the best entertainment for the money because it's free.
Yes, and even our night events are, we try to keep the cost
Reasonable, yeah.
reasonable so that everybody can come out and have fun. We've got those mega passes that and we've
Hmm.
sold more this year of the mega passes for every night. It's just, we're excited to have everybody come down and just be a part of it.
Yeah, just have fun. See your friends, neighbors, your colleagues, and see what their kids are up to and that
Mhm.
sort of thing. So, Pat, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks
Appreciate
for
it.
having me.
And
Appreciate it.
that'll do it for today on Let's Talk Fremont. We're going to send it back over to Kirk Baxter at the KVOW. See, the problem is I used to work at a radio station in Cheyenne that was KVWO. So KVOW, the voice of Wyoming. Coming up at 9 o'clock, CBS National International News. YOToday.com's news follows that. Then Austin Beckdoss is in with sports, and then deals on the dial. So we'll be right back here tomorrow at the Fremont County Fair. And until then, have a great day.